Hi everyone, welcome to Citizen episode 4. It's Sunday the 15th of September and episode 4 today will be about City present, so that's what's going on in the City world now. I'm talking the day after a very disappointing defeat at Norwich City. Obviously I'll cover that in a little bit, I'm not going to go into great detail. Far better tactically minded people have had a sort of pick the bones on that one, I'm afraid, but I'll have my little chip in of what I thought. But obviously, I want to start off on a good thing today. This on the City present. I want to look back at Vinny's testimonial from the other evening. What a great crowd! Good turnout, over 51,000. I was a little bit disappointed it wasn't a sellout. I mean, it's only 2,000 or 3,000 under capacity, which is better than most clubs get for famous players' testimonials. But I was a little bit upset it wasn't a sellout. But overall, I mean, looking back at it and thinking back to what other clubs have got for their so-called legends, it wasn't a bad turnout. 51,000. I think 300,000 was raised for the charity, which is Tackle for Manchester, which is there. You can still support the Tackle for Manchester. There's the text there. Do you want to donate money? It says 10 quid and 20 quid there. I mean, I don't know if there's any more options. You can just donate a quid or something. I don't know, but obviously that's there. So if you still want to do that, that's available. I mean, I did hear that they'd raised 300,000 towards Tackle for Manchester. I mean, I paid 20. Me and my lad went. We paid 20 quid each for our tickets. So only raised 300,000, 51,000 crowd, and selling these for £5 a pop, which is what they were. These were £5. I mean, we obviously only pay £3 for normal City programs. I'm not moaning. At the end of the day, it's all for a good cause. But so obviously 50,000. I mean, there was a lot of there was children there, and obviously there was concession prices. But I mean, if I'm paying £20 and that was the cheapest, which I think it was for the normal aged adults, then why only 300,000? I mean, there's £1 million already. 50,000 at 20 quid. A lot of people paid more than that, a lot more than that, and obviously you did get the concessions. But as I said, it was a school night, so walking around the ground before the match, etc., I didn't see a lot of children. It was probably you see more children on a normal match night, to be honest with you. So yeah, 300,000. Perhaps that was just an estimate someone's put out there of what they raised. Well, I was a bit surprised. I think probably would have raised a bit more of that with that crowd and what they were charging for the prices anyway. Yeah, it was a good night. If you went down, I'm sure the game was okay. It ended up 2-0, which is great. It was nice. I mean, it looks as though we were going to get beat at one stage, the City Legends against the Premier League All-Stars 11, which riled a bit because most of the Premier League All-Stars were obviously United players, so that didn't help. I mean, the squad we got for the Legends got Joe Hart, Johnny Lescott, Mickey Richards, Colo Torre, played brilliantly actually. Defence, I mean, could probably step into our defence at the moment. Zabaleta, Vincent Kompany obviously didn't play. Nigel de Jong, Sami Nasri, Sean Wright-Phillips, who was absolutely knackered after about 5 minutes. He's not that old, is he? I mean, he's only quite a small lad. But he looks absolutely shattered. I think I could have probably run a bit longer than he could on the night. I don't know. He's obviously not keeping himself fit in any way whatsoever. Stephen Ireland, David Silva and Sergio played, but they just played for about 20 minutes. I think didn't do too much. James Milner, who didn't turn up, he should have been in the team. He didn't turn up. Perhaps he was put off by all the threats of booing. I mean, the only way I would have booed him if he'd come out in a Liverpool shirt, but he didn't turn up anyway, so it wasn't a problem. Dieter Rahman, Patrick Vieira. I don't think Vieira played. I can't remember him coming on, although we had 3 or 4 subs that I had no idea who they were, and the announcer, I couldn't make out what he was saying sometimes. So obviously we've got some strange players coming on to play for City. Bellamy, Benjani, of course, and Mario Balotelli, who apparently was there. I saw pictures of him, but he didn't come on the pitch, and I think there was a problem with his team. My lab was disappointed. Perhaps people like Sean Golter and Yaya Toure didn't turn up, things like that, but they could all have other things on. Yaya apparently is playing in China now and had an important game, so that's probably why he didn't turn up. On the Premier League All-Stars, you had Edwin van der Sar, Shay Given, Gary Neville, John O'Shea, Jamie Carragher. Got a little bit of stick on the night and he gave it back, admittedly. Ashley Cole, Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, Michael Carrick, Ryan Giggs, Raphael van der Vaart, Cesc Fabregas, Mikel Arteta. It was unusual seeing Arteta playing against us, to be honest with you. Thierry Henry, I don't remember seeing him there. Robin van Persie, Robbie Keane, Tim Cahill. So, as I say, it was a good night. It was a nice programme. I mean, some nice images of the City players there. Micah Richards. So I have these on here. I mean, I can't think of, say, Patrick Vieira didn't actually play in the game. De Jong played well. I mean, it was a good game. It was a good game. It was quite competitive for most of it. But as I say, we did look as though we were going to lose at one stage. Benjani, without his dreadlocks, was obviously scored our equaliser in the last minute, I think, of the game. Roberto Martinez was their manager. It's just nice little tributes to Vinny here in the programme from ex-players. Yaya Toure, my brother Vinny. It was an honour to share the pitch with you at City. Memories I will cherish. Kyle Walker, from skip to gaffer. The man still has it all. Bernardo Silva, thank you, Captain. What a pleasure to share the dressing room and learn from you over the last 2 seasons. Franny Lee, thank you so much, Vincent. Hard to put into words what you've done for the club over the last decade. Sergio Aguero, so we shared 8 years growing in this club. It was my pleasure to share this time together. So nice little tributes. I've got a nice programme, a lot of nice pictures in there. It's a nice thing to keep. And obviously, there's a couple of disappointments actually. Apart from, we go in the south stand, me and my lad, we're in the singing section, so we stand up every game, and we did stand up on Wednesday night as well, which is great. We were a bit panicking, thinking there'd be a lot of different people in there, so obviously we might not be standing, but obviously it was all the south stand as far as the level one all stood up, so that was great. But it was Joe Hart. He didn't obviously played the first half, and obviously we were so used to, if you've been to the Etihad, City always prefer to kick towards the family stand in the second half, which riles a lot of people in the south stand, because that is where the popular side, if you like, where most of the singing in the corner of the east stand and the south stand, where most of the atmosphere is created for City. But City always for some reason they like it, like most teams do. They have a certain way of playing. And even when I play Sunday League football, I used to prefer to play a certain way in the first half, even though we're playing on a park, on a big park. I always preferred one way to the other. And it was disappointing the second half, because obviously Joe Hart was subbed at half time, so we were absolutely gutted. He didn't come out in the second half and run to the south stand, obviously, for us to give our chance to applaud him, which was made up a little bit at the end, because obviously they did do the lap of honour, and obviously Joe Hart made a big thing of applauding the fans and he touching his heart, etc., when he passed the City fans. So that made up for it a little bit. We were a little bit disappointed that we didn't get a chance to at least see 5 or 10 minutes of him before the reserve goalkeeper, Wright. I think Wright played the second half, Richard Wright. So we were a bit disappointed with that. There was a bit of trouble as well in the south stand. Obviously someone's had a few beers. The stewards had to come in. There was a little bit of handbags situation. A couple of guys, a young guy and an older guy. That was you very rarely see that in a normal competitive league game. Even if playing Liverpool United, you don't usually see it kicking off between the City fans, which is what it was. It was just City fans, obviously, falling out with each other. As I said, the game was pretty good. Carragher, as I said, got a bit of stick, gave a bit of stick back. Some of the old songs came out. Obviously, the Neville song, the Neville family song, etc. The Ryan Giggs song, obviously, not to any great volume, but things like that. The Liverpool song, and I saw some Liverpool fans on Twitter saying, "Oh, you're singing about Liverpool." Well, it was Carragher was there, so it's just a wind up of Carragher, Gerrard slip song. It's just what it is. I mean, stop moaning about it. Just worry about your own team. They always get on. So we have lots of songs. We sing loads of songs, not just So that's just one of many songs we sung, and the atmosphere is pretty good. And we did manage to sing a lot of the songs, to be honest with you. My favourite thing of, looking back at Vinny yourself, just to finish off, obviously my highlight, is the way he celebrates goals, for one thing. It was just like me and you on the park, and we jump up in the air. He had no of these sort of robot dances and stupid things like that. Vinny just enjoyed it for what it was. And that's what I liked about Vinny's celebration. So, yeah, you think back to the goal against United, which was, again, was a header at our end in the south stand. That was great to see, obviously. But my obviously highlight was last year when he came back in for those last 4 or 5 games when we really needed him. Like, in a way, we probably needed him yesterday in games like that where he scored against Leicester. I mean, that obviously took over as my personal highlight of Vinny, even the goal at Wembley, etc., was another one. But obviously that's more in memory, and obviously that was when we needed him. Obviously last season we needed that. We needed his presence, even though for the last 4 years I think he's played less than a quarter of the games for City the last 4 years. So we have become a little bit accustomed not to seeing Vinny, but we've always known he's been there. That's the thing. And now he's not there. It doesn't feel a lot different to me. And going back to yesterday, which was disappointing. People go on about Vincent Kompany, but I mean, most of the time he wouldn't have played in them games anyway. But you knew he was there. That's the thing with Vincent Kompany. You just knew he was there. Off the field, obviously, you've got these couple of speeches that he's done. Obviously, one with the City documentary he did was very memorable. But the best one was probably the ad hoc thing that he did in a pub in Hale. Was it Hale Barnes, when he went to that pub after we'd won the league and he did that thing? And we all remember the thing with his father-in-law when obviously they were beaten at home by West Brom, was it? And they gave us a title, not last year, the year before. So, yeah, I mean, off the pitch, but it's great. It was nice to see Vinny, and he had in the water. His kids were there. His 3 kids looked quite happy. So, yeah, it was a good night. If you went, I hope you enjoyed it like I did. And what can we say? I mean, will he be back? Will he be back? I'd be very surprised if he's not back at some stage in the future, to be honest with you. So I think he will. Yeah, so that was Vinny's testimonial. That was a great night on Wednesday night, and all the best, Vinny. And let's hope you do well with Anderlecht, and we do see you back soon. It's in some guys or other. I mean, he may become the fantastic manager at Anderlecht. He's not started off too well, but once he knuckles down to be a manager rather than trying to play as well, I think he'll do a lot better. And who knows, he could be a City manager again one day when sadly Pep leaves us, which I'm still thinking that he won't extend. It'll be next season when Pep leaves us. At this point in time, I can't see Pep staying. But hey, let's worry about that when it happens. Right, on to yesterday, Norwich. Well, I've looked at a couple of other guys' thoughts on the Norwich game. I thought Norwich played quite well, but to be honest with you, they didn't even have to be at the best. I just thought City was so poor. I just thought we were poor. I didn't like the team, even though I would have only changed one player in my starting lineup. I would have definitely played Stones and Otamendi at the back, because I think that's accepted that it seems to be accepted that that's what we're going to have to put out there for the next 5 or 6 months. But obviously that could all change now. And based on yesterday, something's got to change, because I'm sorry, with that defence that we've got, there's not many options apart from Fernandinho coming in. There's not a lot of changes we can make to that defence from an experience point of view. Obviously, Walker could move back, obviously, into a central position, but we're certainly not, with that defence. I don't think we're gonna win the league. It's as simple as that. I don't think after 5 games, it's I'm not one of these. I mean, there's people on the internet who obviously, you've got your happy clappers who are obviously going to, we were 10 points behind, blah, blah, blah. You've got your people who are in, sack the lot, Pep's, he doesn't know what he's doing. So I fall between the 2 categories. I mean, if you'd asked me straight after the game, I try and be philosophical. With City, I've been there through the really bad times, but it doesn't make it any easier. I mean, I used to, when we were rubbish and we got beat, it took me 2 or 3 days to recover. And when we're brilliant now and we get beat, it still takes me 2 or 3 days to recover. I'm not changed just because we've got a great team, in the same way that people are sticking up for Otamendi because he was great in the centenary season. Yeah, of course he was. And, but we're here now. What's happening now? Not what happened 2 years ago, not what happened last year. We're here now in the situation we're in now. We've just lost one of the best centre-backs in the world, top 3 centre-backs in the world. We've just lost him for 6 months. And we do know now we've got Stones, who obviously last year was an absolute, had problems. Let's be honest about it. Otamendi very rarely lets us down. He's always prone to a mistake. And let's be honest about it, with that champion. When it comes to the champion, I'll talk about the Shakhtar game coming up, the Watford game, obviously coming up. I'll do that when I've gone through the Twitterverse thing. But this is it. This is what we've got. There's no good looking at saying, who can we buy in January? Oh, we should have bought this. We should have bought this. We should have bought this in August before the season. We should have replaced Vinny and all that. We're in the position. We're in the position. What we're in is what we're in. But that's it. The squad we've got. It's the squad we've got. We can't do much about it. So Pep's going to have to work a little bit of magic. And I honestly don't think he can work a little bit. I think we're still going to suffer now. And teams can look at that result yesterday, and we know as City fans that with first 5 games, first 4 games before yesterday, we've not really fired on all cylinders. We've won games well, but we're not quite firing. But you look at, I've watched 2 or 3 of the Liverpool games, full matches, and some of the highlights. Liverpool have picked up from where they finished last season. I'm afraid City haven't picked up from where we finished last season. Last season we were winning games 1-0, but we were dominating. We didn't look as though we were going to lose those games. Even we took a 1-0 lead. We didn't look as though we were going to lose it. This season we look a little bit rocky. But it's early days, as I say. But I'm not to the extreme of saying, oh no, we've lost it and all this sort. I'm sure the Liverpools will be jumping up and down, but I think the thing with yesterday, as I said, I didn't think Norwich played fantastically well. I just think we were poor, which meant, they must have loved it, Norwich. They must have loved how we played. They must have been a bit scared. They got half the team out through injuries, probably more than half the team out through injuries. And we just didn't do anything. We just didn't up the pace. Our midfield is a slow midfield. There's no pace in the midfield. I love Rodri, and Rodri was probably my man of the match yesterday, but Gundogan and David are not pacey. So Norwich have plenty of time, put men behind the ball. They could play the ball. They played it about nicely, but no. And coming into it, I thought we had. Obviously when Aguero pulled it, but I think we had our first shot in about 20 minutes. Overall we had. I think looking at the thing, I think we had 25 shots. I'm struggling to remember the 25, to be honest with you. Certainly the first half, we didn't get going till after they scored. We were terrible, and that's the first thing that happened. They scored the goal, and then we looked a bit more lively. We hit the post. Aguero should have done better with a header from a Sterling cross, and then we went 2-0 down. So first goal, same thing. Can't defend from corners. Doesn't matter. Wouldn't matter if Laporte was there, to be honest. I think we'd probably still concede that goal, even if Laporte was there, because we've not learnt how to defend from corners and set pieces. We never look, and we always look rubbish on them. Simple as. So sorry, Pep, but we do. We look terrible. It doesn't normally matter, because if we let 1 or 2 in, we can score 3 or 4. But if we're not scoring 3 or 4, we're not going to win games, and that's a sad indictment at the moment. Last year we could score 1 and win a game. The last few games last year, but this year it doesn't look as though it's going to be like that. And once Aguero brought us back into it at half time, I thought, they'll get a rollicking at half. I knew Pep wouldn't make any changes. He never does at half time. But I thought, that's it. We can come back into this now. Rep will give him a bollock. Sorry, pardon the language. Give him a rollicking at half time. Pep will give him a rollicking, and we'll come out and do it. But within 3 minutes, it was all out of the window, because obviously that Otamendi debacle. We'd nearly lost it about a minute before. He passed it to Stones, a terrible pass. Stones was too slow to get to it, and he should have really scored there, Norwich. But then, just to rub salt in the wounds, Otamendi, I'm sorry, even Championship, even Division 1 and Division 2, it's just not acceptable. That's not how City play anyway. When he receives that ball, the way Pep has his team, the awareness of every player is to who's there. I've seen players get caught out, but that was so naive. And then to complain that he didn't get a shout, I'm sorry, but he didn't need a shout. He should have known. He should have known what was going on. He should have been aware, Otamendi. So I'm sorry. And at 3, and that's it. I don't think we really did much till the last 6 or 7 minutes. Once Rodri got a goal back, I think we had 3 shots at goal from Jesus, Aguero and Sterling that my nieces could have probably hit harder. Absolutely terrible. And I just thought we were poor yesterday, and great, we'll go again. Of course we will. And then we'll talk about Shakhtar Donetsk in a little bit. Of course we'll go again. I mean, it's not the end of the world. 10 points, 5 games, still second place, 5 points behind Liverpool. I mean, but I'm sorry, it's not just us that watch these games. Everyone else watches these games, and City can be got at. And at the moment, with that back line, we do look susceptible. So yeah, 70% possession. I think that Norwich had 7 shots to our 25. They had 3 on target. We had 8 out of the 25 on target. About 30%. Is it 33%? Not great, but I mean that's par for the course. As I said, Rodri was probably my man of the match. I'm not going to give score ratings, etc. But perhaps Aguero. I've let Aguero off, but he could have done better as well. I mean, Aguero did okay. Stones okay. I mean, but the rest of them, Bernardo was okay for elements of the game, but the rest of them, I'm not even going to insult them by giving the scores. It just well done, Norwich. It's a good 3 points to Norwich. It lifts them. Where does that lift them now to? 12 on 6 points. We're second on 10 points. So there's not much more to be said, really. I'm just very, very disappointed that I think I said on the preview of the Norwich game, I'll be disappointed if we don't come away with a win. And I came up with a 4-2 scoreline for City, and quite funnily enough, I was at my daughter's before the match, and the husbands, who are United fans, said, "Oh, what do you think today?" So I said 4-2, and then I laughed and said to Norwich. So and he laughed, obviously, just a bit of fun, but hey, I was nearly proved right, wasn't I? So there you go. That was very, very depressing. Right, so that's Norwich out of the way. I say we move on. I'm just going to have a quick look at what's been happening on Twitter this week before I just go into look at the next 2 games we've got ahead of us. So on Twitter, I try and be positive. I mean, I've not really looked at anything from yesterday because there's a lot of negativity out there. There's a bit of, as I say, the happy clappers are always going to be the positive ones, and there's always going to be the negative ones. Some people say, "Oh, our fan base is rubbish." I don't call it a fan base because it's just a few people on Twitter. It's when you've got millions worldwide supporting the team. I'm sorry, a fan base doesn't equate to half a dozen people on Twitter slagging Pep off or slagging the team off. But criticism, we have to criticise. If we're no good, we have to criticise. Nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely spot on. So just have a quick look on. There's a couple of things I'll show you. I'll just go through a couple of things on Twitter. This goes back, say, about a week ago. The first thing I noticed that there's a little site called City_Extra, XTRA. And I've seen this on a couple of things. It's from Sky Sports News. This was last week. Brighton have excluded a supporter indefinitely for a discriminatory social media post made from the account of a fan-run website. The post, which has since been deleted, included derogatory comments over the ownership of Manchester City. So, I mean, these things are happening now. I mean, derogatory about the owners of Manchester City. How many of those have we seen from seasoned journalists as well? Never mind just people on Twitter. So obviously someone's got into trouble there for it, but hey, we've seen it lots of times. This next thing from Duncan Alexander, who's at Oily Sailor, it's quite a funny one, and I mean a couple of the remarks to this are quite. But this is what Twitter's about. It's a bit silly. He states, Duncan Alexander states, Kelechi Iheanacho is the only player whose name contains all the letters in chicken to ever score in the Premier League. So obviously Kelechi Iheanacho, is obviously chickens in there. And obviously there's people answering coming up with all these names of people. And there's not one. There's somewhere there's not enough C's or there's not a K or something like that. We're coming up with these names. But the best comment was Eamon Dunphy, who replied, and he said, "Ladies and gents, we have a winner. The most meaningless tweet of the week. Congratulations." So that was Eamon Dunphy. And obviously another guy just quit back and said, "New to Twitter, are you?" So yeah, I mean, he's just saying, "Look, well, that's what Twitter is. It's just stupid things, but it can be quite funny." So that was quite funny. So are you new to Twitter, thinking that there's anything sensible about on Twitter? Another one here now from Leroyology, at Leroyology. City fans are so bad at hyping their own players. If Sterling played for any other club of the top 6, we would be seeing Sterling best in the world shouts from their fans. FFS. I mean, a lot of the comments are saying, yeah, because we don't, we're not smug. We don't sort of shout them to the rooftops. Perhaps we should. I mean, obviously we do, because no one else will. No one else will stick up for our players. And people are commenting, we prefer trophies to hype. Sterling is world class, yes, but what's wrong with being humble? So it was a good point, but yeah, you're not going to get. I always find on Twitter a lot of cities, not nastiness, but when we're having to defend ourselves from other fan bases, I'll use that word again, is because we're defending ourselves. We don't particularly pick or hype up anything that's to do with City. We just literally just try and stand our corner and defend our boys, and that's all we do. And so the same thing with hyping our players. We don't go mad on it. We know it's there. We don't need to go mad on it. We know how good our players are. And this next thing now, I'll show you a little bit of it. This is on. I'll tell you where you can see a bit of it. I'll play a little bit of it. See what you can see on the camera. It's obviously who lives in a house like this. I'll turn the sound off because there's a bit of swearing on the singing. It's the LA song that someone recorded. So it's obviously a Liverpool fan's house. I'll give you the link if you want to have a look at it. Anfield Urchin, I think it's under, if you want to have a look at it. I mean, and the thing about who lives in a house like this, and some of the answers are obviously quite derogatory. Who lives in a house like this, and certain words are used. Well, but I mean, this fan, it might be a woman. I would doubt it. I mean, but he would probably not married. We all have our dens. I mean, look at my place here. This is my office where obviously I do the things, and I've got films on football and things obviously dominate. But this is a house. I mean, it's superb. I mean, it's superb if you're a Liverpool fan. But some of the answers to it were quite. And there's a Liverpool song playing in the background, which I've turned off, obviously, because there's some swearing in it. But I mean, I think a lot of football fans wouldn't object to that for their own club, even though obviously some of the answers to who lives in a house like that are quite derogatory, as you would expect. But I think most of us wouldn't. Yeah, at Anfield Urchin. So if you want to have a look at that, and I think most of us would stick up if it was our team. The FIFA cards, obviously the Manchester City FIFA cards in the top 100. Obviously De Bruyne 91, Aguero 89, Sterling 88, Edison 88, David Silva 88, Fernandinho 87, Bernardo 87, Laporte 87, Sane 86, Rodri 85. So that's these FIFA cards. I'm not into FIFA myself. If you're into FIFA, you'll probably know a bit more about that. But that's what sites that on. Obviously, that's been on a few sites with the FIFA thing. This next one is I'll just show you this image again. It's on the Manchester City site, and it's obviously this mashup artwork that's been advertised. I think you can buy prints of it, and it is excellent. Apparently it was inspired by this guy likes Where's Wally, and it sort of inspired him to make this mishmash of a picture of all the ex-City players, and he talks about his inspiration of Where's Wally. And obviously you've got all this. This is on the City account, so you got all the City players coming trying to pick themselves out. You got Tony Buck and Mike Summerby in a minute. I'm going to look see if they can pick themselves out. Paul Dickoff, etc., etc. So it's a mishmash of all the players and all the artwork, and it's a bit like the Legend thing that came out, but obviously that was a little bit less in numbers. This is just a massive stuff, and I think you can buy the print. It's from the City store or online as well. So that's quite interesting. Obviously, we had the international break, and Cap at Capel Amin, who is a good guy to follow. He just points out that during the international break, Bernardo Silva 1 goal 3 assists, KDB 1 goal 3 assists, Sterling 2 goals 4 assists, Foden 2 goals 2 assists. Our boys are on fire, so sadly we didn't carry it over, did we, to ourselves. And of course, back on the Vincent theme with the testimonial this week. I mean, most of us have seen the Vincent Kompany Crescent. Some guy did say that obviously that mosaic, they've smashed up the Yaya one, obviously, and redone the Vinny one. So bit harsh on Yaya, but the principle. But again, that's been quite popular on the site. And one of the roads between the pitches from the first team to the training pitch has been renamed Vincent Kompany Crescent. So that's good to watch. They had the players doing another one on Manchester City. That's quite funny. They had Kyle Walker and Raheem Sterling doing they ask them silly questions, and one of the questions was who's most likely to survive a zombie apocalypse. Obviously, I love Walking Dead like I do, and they did say that Ederson would because he'd probably frighten the zombies, which is fair enough. You can't really argue with that. Another nice picture of Vinny with the shirt with the City heart. That was a nice one as well. That I've seen that in a few places. That Ray Barlow retweeted that one at @rbarlowmcfc. That was good. And that was quite funny because before we knew Milner wasn't playing, one of the comments was Sam at Sam MCFC1. He was commenting to a thing about Milner, and he said the scenes when we let Milner sit on the bench for the whole game, and that was quite funny, So obviously, if he wasn't even going to play. And the next one is this is a great. He has stalls etc. doing various things on the various markets, and it's the Ginger Wig MCFC. I'm sure if you're a City fan, you've seen him with his tartan wig on there, ginger wig hair, at the Ginger Wig, and he does great stuff. And obviously, can't see it so well there. But what he does, he takes things like the tickets. That's company number 4. So if you get the ticket from the other day, that's the ticket, the print-out ticket, obviously, that we use to get into the company testimonial. He'll take that segment of it and frame it. So like over the years, he's done like when we won the league, he's took people's season cards and put a little thing and put it in a frame, and you send in the stuff, and obviously he actually does it, personalizes it for you. So that's a great thing. That's at the Ginger Wig. So he's the guy I always have a look at. He's worth following and checking up on. Before we leave the testimonial the other night, Jamie Carragher obviously said got a little bit of stick. Just in a tweet, I don't understand the tweet really. And this is a tweet he put out after the match. In-depth analysis of tonight's game on at Sky Sports Monday Night Football, looking at all the goals. Why in the modern game don't defenders track runners? So he's having to go at obviously the late goal that the City legends score to equalise. Also, why does a player get left with 3 men at the back post from a set piece in the 90th minute? Yeah. So as I say, it was a last minute goal from Benjani. So it's trying to be funny there, but then he goes on to say, fingers crossed, at GNev2, Gary Neville, has a severe injury, and then obviously a prayer sign. I don't know. I mean, what has a severe injury, Gary Neville? There must be something I'm missing there. I mean, it's just odd. It's just an odd thing but it's Jamie Carragher, so perhaps he's trying to be funny and I'm missing totally something there. I just really can't see the point of the tweet. And there's another one why Pep got rid of Joe Hart. He didn't. Obviously, he got rid of him for playing. If you can see that, there's a picture. And he got rid of Joe Hart because of the size of his hands. So if you look at that picture, obviously it's the kid's hands. I think that's one of Vinny Kompany's kids. But obviously it looks as though it's Joe Hart's hands. So that was quite funny. Obviously that's why Pep got rid of him. No wonder Pep forced Joe Hart out of City. Look at the size of his hands. That's at Dom P3ARSON, Dom P3 Arson. So that was quite funny. And just a couple of more, I think, here. Oh yeah, the Etihad has been voted as the best stadium belonging to domestic champions in the Champions League. So obviously it's just the champions. So obviously we couldn't be compared to any other British clubs based on certain criteria. So they looked at certain criteria: season ticket prices, eco credentials, price of a pint, smart technology, accessibility, transport time and link, seating capacity, and the Etihad was voted number 1 with a score of 70 Camp Nou was second, which is, if you've been to the Camp Nou, is a bit of a dump, but obviously that came second at 63. Alliance Arena, third at 54. Benfica, the Studio de Sport Lisboa got 53 in fourth, and fifth place went to Gazprom Arena, Zenit St. Petersburg with a 53. So that was a nice thing to win. The Etihad gets a little award there. How important it is, doesn't matter. Last couple now. And this is an interesting one. I have seen it. It came from the Sun. I've not verified this. I've seen it a couple of times now. Manchester City supporter Ian Baldry, 58, has been charged with racially abusing Raheem Sterling. So since that first tweet we had a look at with the abuse, Baldry swore at Sterling after he scored a goal against Bournemouth in December. So that's a Manchester City fan. And then someone does comment, this doesn't add up. So Sterling scored against Bournemouth, and the man who's a City fan, not even a Bournemouth fan, racially abused him. And it's just so I probably have to look into that a little bit more. It just seems a little bit strange, that one. And finally, just to finish off, this is obviously just a look at yesterday's game. At Weetabix said, today's result kind of makes me miss the days when we were average and a defeat was pretty much par for the course. Rather than earth-shattering news and having fellow fans call for half of our team to be dropped and sold immediately. Well, this is the thing is, well, that happened. Obviously, we didn't have the Twitterverse in the 80s and 90s, etc. So you would have seen that. You would have seen that thing, obviously, when we were terrible. But the thing is, it's just as bad now anyway. So I mean, he's actually saying it isn't, but it is. You know, it's just people calling for Pep said and what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I said it myself. I don't understand why De Bruyne didn't start the game, for instance. He's our best player. He's just played a couple of games for Belgium, but you have your best team. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call for Pep said. Who could call for Pep said? He knows what he's doing. I'm sure he's got it all planned. I mean, looking at his body language at the moment, I'm not overly... This is why I was saying about him extending. At this point in time, he doesn't look, you know... He looks as though, yeah, he's saying he loves his guys, he's going to support them, etc., etc. I'm not getting the up for it vibe from Pep at the moment. Might just be me. I might be totally wrong on that. I don't think he's. Of course, he's there for the battle, and of course, he lives and breathes football, and he'll live and breathe, and he'll do his best for us. But like the team yesterday, I'm just not getting that vibe from Pep at the moment, which is a bit of a worry. And as I say, this is why I was a bit negative on the fact that, yeah, he leaves us at the end of next season. You know, unless something happens, which he said himself, and, you know, he could leave us this season. You never know. But I'm just not getting that vibe from Pep. Moving forward to the next couple of games, we've got a couple of tough games. And then even after that, we've got another couple of tough games, to be honest with you. It's going to be an interesting next 3 or 4 weeks. Obviously, go to Shakhtar on Wednesday, which is our third visit now in 3 years. Obviously, I think we won quite comfortably the last season, but the season before we actually got beat in a dead rubber. But I mean, Shakhtar, I have to look at that game yesterday. I mean, they've played 7 in the league and won 7. Shakhtar, they're scoring a lot. They scored 23 goals, only let 6 goals in. They're playing really well. These Europeans aren't frightened of City. These Europeans aren't frightened. European teams aren't frightened of having a go at City. You know, some of the English clubs will get away with it because they're a bit wary. But, you know, and obviously after yesterday's thing, even that might fall by the wayside. When I think about past Watford, I'm thinking Everton away as well, which is our next league game after Watford. I mean, I'm a little bit worried. I'm sure Pep will sort it out and we'll be all right. But Shakhtar Donetsk, you know, I'm not overly confident. I was reasonably confident before yesterday. At this point in time, I'd be happy getting a draw there, to be honest with you. And let's be honest about it. Pep yesterday has one eye on this game already. He's already letting the Champions League have a bearing on his league teams. Not playing De Bruyne. There's no other reason he didn't play KDB apart from the fact he'll be playing him against Shakhtar Donetsk. Of course he will. So I'm sorry, Pep's already risked a little bit by looking at this Shakhtar Donetsk game, and I don't blame him. I mean, it's a Metalist Stadium. Obviously, they're still playing out away from the home ground because of the continuing troubles over there. Shakhtar Donetsk were formed in 1936. They play at the Metalist Stadium with a 41,000 capacity crowd, which is very partisan. Looking at the odds for Shakhtar, they won the UEFA Cup before it changed to the Europa League back in 2009. So, like City, they've won a European trophy like we have. And as I said, they've won 7 out of 7 so far. They beat the main rivals, Kiev, although they're not doing so well in the league at the moment. So the top of the league, and I think they're a good few points clear as well at the top of the league. They could be 7 or 8 points clear, I think, or even more. There you can get 200 to 350 to 1 for Shakhtar to win the Champions League. So the way outside is betting for this. I looked at this before the game yesterday, so it was 17 to 2 for a Shakhtar win, 9 to 2 for a draw, and 2 to 7 for a City win. I mean, so I would probably, it might be worth putting a quid on the 9 to 2 or a tenner on the 9 to 2 at the moment, because they won't be scared. Shakhtar are going to have a go. It's going to be a tough game, and it'll be interesting to see how City go on. I don't approach the Champions League games as nervous as I do big league games, etc. For some, I'm not, obviously, if we get further and further, I do. But at this stage in these qualifying things, I don't get as nervous as I do for even our own cup games, Carabao Cup games, and FA Cup games. It's just the Champions League. I want to win it, of course I do. But it's not the be all and end all of me. Perhaps it's to say I think a lot of guys my age are quite similar. I don't get excited about it. I get excited about it. We get to a quarter final or a semi final, of course I do. But hey, don't worry about that if it happens. Yeah, so I'll be happy with the draw. I'm not make a prediction of a score, but I think we could struggle. We could struggle. They'll give us a good game, and it'll be interesting to see how City cope with that one. Watford, obviously next Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff should be a little. Even if we get beat by Shakhtar, I think Watford are in terrible form. I mean, we may as well just give up if we don't go on and beat Watford next week. To say with another tricky cup game against Preston, followed by a league game away at Everton to follow that. I mean, we may as well just give up and call it a day if we can't beat Watford next Saturday. Watford, they established in 1881 with Watford Rovers, and they turned to Watford FC in 1898. They moved to Vicarage Road in 1922. Their record for appearances, Mr. Luther Blissett, and he's appeared 503 times between 1976 and 1992, and he's still their top scorer as far as I know, 186 goals scored. As I say, before today, they're playing Arsenal later today, so you may know the score. I'll be going against Arsenal today, but you can't really see him winning that, but you never know. The 20th with 1 point, which they got away at Newcastle. That's the only point they've got so far. The match odds, City 1 to 10 on. So you want to put a tenner on and get 11 quid back, But I wouldn't put you off that. I think that's a fairly safe bet. 9 to 1 the draw. I think that's should be a bit higher. And 16 to 1 a Watford wins. So, hey, 16 to 1's not bad. They're currently, before today's game, 11 to 5 to be relegated, and the 5th favourites to be relegated at the moment, Watford. So even though they are in 19th, they're obviously 5th favourites to be relegated. So there's potential for them to do a little bit better, obviously. The 5 to 1 to finish in the top half of the table, and 1 to 8 to finish in the bottom half. So, I mean, you can't see them finishing outside. You can't see them finishing the top half of the table. To win the league, the 2,000 to 1, which, you may as well give me the quid if you're going to have a quid on that, to be honest with you. So, yeah, Watford, that's Watford next week. Next Saturday, which let's see how we go against Shakhtar, but and then let's bury Watford and get back on track, and let's not let Liverpool get too far ahead. Well, that's it for this episode 4. This is City Present. There will be a episode 5 City Present before the next by after the Watford game, so that'll obviously be a couple of little things I'll be doing on there about match programs, etc. And I might have a look at the City app, what we're getting for our $1.99. Might have a look at that on Citizen episode 5, And obviously, I'll look back at these Shakhtar and Watford games and look forward to the Preston and the Everton games. And there will also soon after that, probably episode 6, there'll be a City Past, which will be quite interesting. As you know, if you've watched the other couple of cities and things, and we're going to 1995. And I'm going to take a look at October 1995. Mr. Alan Ball's in charge. And we face in October, we face 5 games, including a match against Leeds. That's the Leeds programme. 2 games against Liverpool, one in the Cup, within 4 days of each other. And a match against United at Old Trafford, plus I think it was a Coca-Cola Cup involved in that as well in that month. So that's October 1995. So that'll be on episode 6, which will probably go out in 7 to 10 days' time. Which looks at City's past, which obviously you can have a look back at. That'll be the third one. The first Citizen was obviously a combined one, past and present, but obviously from Citizen 2 onwards, I split it now. So this is City present, I'll do a City past one. So if you don't like one or the other, you can choose. You like looking at the history, go back and look at that. If you just like looking at the new stuff, look at the new stuff. So anyway, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you enjoyed that today, and sorry I can't be overly positive about what happened yesterday and what may be happening this week. Give us a thumbs up, push the bell notifications, that'd be great. And obviously if you go onto my Burdenine YouTube, there's links to my movie Game Nostalgia, which is my movie-based website with obviously I do movie-based reviews and board game reviews, etc. So there's links on there if you want to have a rest from football and you want to have a look at movies and board games, etc. There's links on there. I'm on Facebook at Bernard Deneen with links to Movie Game Nostalgia. And on Twitter, obviously, if you look at Charles Deneen at Bernard Deneen, I'll be on Twitter or at nostalgia_movie for my movie site. And all the links are there to my other channels anyway. So hope you enjoyed that. I'll be back next week to talk through 2 wonderful wins against Shakhtar and Watford. Whatever you do before then, and hopefully might see you at a game. Who knows over the next coming weeks? But hope you enjoy that, and I'll see you all soon. Have a great one, and whatever you're doing the rest of today and this week, hey, let's get on with it with City. We'll bounce back. We'll be fine. I'll see you later. Bye bye.